Hello, everyone. Good evening. Uh, I don't know if the air is on or if it's the window open, but it's wheezy in here. And I just woke up maybe about 15 minutes ago, and I'm still tired. So I'm gonna go lay back down. But I had to come on tonight, and I'm gonna raise my voice a little bit because two people that I was on the phone with said, "I can't hear you. You're whispering." So, but it is a quieter environment. So, if you can't hear me, just let me know. But if you can't hear me, then I just won't be recording as much. Even though I said I wasn't going to record again, but this recording today is about Walmart Plus. So, give me a minute. I just brushed my teeth and my lip is dry. And I am just loving up on myself. And happy Mother's Day to everybody because today is Mother's Day. It is not midnight, although it looked like it is. Oh, oh my goodness. Nobody's home. There's nobody's home over there. So, but I'm gonna close my window and I'm gonna pull my blind, my shade down in a minute. Okay. Thank you for chiming in. Now, I don't know uh, a lot about Walmart Plus. I'm new to Walmart Plus, but I believe I like Walmart Plus a little bit more than I liked it yesterday. Now, I did report the driver who abandoned my order. Yes, my order did end up canceled. And on top of that, when I did my order over, I missed a few things that I actually wanted, like cheese for my sandwich, and I did get my meat today. But um, I went on the forum and I made a post about what happened. A lot of people did not believe that that was true, that I actually was a scammer. I lied and everything. So, you know what I did? I ended up removing the post, but I did get some very helpful people, even though some of them were drivers and they said they're not allowed to ask for tips. And I did research in on the computer that their gas is already included in what they get paid. So when the man said to me about the gas was in his pay rate. Now, I do understand that it is a very hard economy right now and that they can use everything they can. The number one reason why is the wear and tear on their vehicle. I do understand that. But at the same token, their choice of employment is not my responsibility. So the wear and tear on the car, although I do understand because I'm a driver, the choice of their employment is not my responsibility. So I don't want to fix a problem that I did not create. So with that said, after chatting it and read what everybody was going through, I said the only thing I can do is figure out some math on my end. So I did, and the store, um, minutes from me, whether it was a toll or not, all of that I did, and there was no two tolls. There was only a certain amount of minutes, and I even went down to the nitty gritty to figure out how much money it was costing that person in gas to get here, and it was $3. But I don't care about that. My care is I'm grateful for my food to get here. I am grateful for the convenience of getting it here. And I am more than blessed to have the opportunity to be fed. So today, I forgot a few times that it was Mother's Day, but I found a really nice bracelet in here and a nice card, and I put $5 cash in the card. So the driver, I didn't know, picked my order until the last minute when it said the person would be here at whatever time. So I had, prepared the thing, and then I was downstairs maybe 30 minutes, and the driver wasn't there. But I have patience of steel. I don't know where I get it from, but I waited without any problem. And then he messaged me twice to say he would be there, and I said I'm in the lobby. So I was there. I am so thankful that they have this little bench downstairs in the lobby, and that it seems as if it's okay that I sit there with my wagon and wait for my groceries. I figured the best respect I can give the driver for their time, especially if I didn't have a tip, was to be there for them to unload and get back in to get the next call. But when I joined the group, which I am going to join again tonight, you get to learn a lot. They abandon carts. People take people's food on purpose. It's a lot of stuff, and they have this attitude towards customers. And they also, if they see a order under a certain amount of money, they automatically refuse it. So just say if you don't have a tip, they automatically refuse it, and then someone else would choose to tip. Now, I'm going to be very gentle when I say some of the things I say because I was already accused of um, something. I don't know. I believe it was one of the lowest things I could be accused of, and I don't know. I really don't know. I don't even know what to say. You understand? My friend that's gonna call me in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to, have a discussion with her and let her know what I went through. But uh, I was accused of something that I can't believe, and I didn't get angry or anything. But I have to be very careful what I say on my channel because I was accused of something that I just don't understand. I'm I'm really confused, and I didn't know whether or not I was coming or going. I just know I was like, when I was being accused, and the word "fu" was a lot in the conversation, boys and girls, and I'm like, and I just sat there like your video, and I'm like, you mother, sell out. I'm like, but you know what? I get you not, honey. Ooh, God does provide. Ooh, I slept good last night. Ooh, I slept good last night. I listen to that. You know when somebody has grown, boys and girls, your girl has grown. I kid you not. I was in here yesterday, and the voices. I started having these conversations with myself that was going and everything. But I realized that trauma I went through last night, honey, I was like, but it is okay. So I have to be gentle. But anyway, I noticed that every driver that came for me was not American. That's all I can tell you. And when I handed the man the card today and I said, I am so thankful you chose my order. I said, because I didn't have a tip on the computer. And he looked at the card and the bracelet, and he was so grateful. You understand me? But I kid you not, there are people that are really out here behaving in a way that are actually saying that people are taking their money away and their options away and their choices away. No, 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 no. So I made a firm decision on my end, and I'm not ever putting a tip on the computer. No, no, no. You get your tip in cash, and that's it. I don't care what anyone thinks, says. That's not my business, and I don't care. My order will never have a tip. You want to know why? You have to be a special type of person to accept what your employer gives you, because I'm not your employer. I was really, really hurt when that person refused my order, and I actually cried. I actually cried because I felt a certain type of way. But I said, you know what? This girl here has to grow a thicker skin if I'm going to be in society, because I'm not walking backwards in life. I'm not going to do that. But I was really hurt because I said, I was confused. I'm like, what do you want me to do? You said you have two toes, and then when I searched it, no, you didn't have two toes. So you really was coming for me. And if I was really in awareness of something else, I would have said, okay, I have $30. Can you come get it? But you know what? I have no right to treat myself like that. I have no right to treat myself like that. I absolutely am fighting right now in a way that no one can understand, but I have to be easy because I keep having these pains in my chest, and I notice this when I'm getting a little anxiety. So, and I do know because I ended up in the emergency room, I'm in the ambulance one time, but I'm having these pains because my anxiety. I was I was put through something last night, and something told me not to record yesterday, and I went against the grain. And I recorded, but I don't know, but I count my blessings, honey. I count my blessings. But we're gonna go back now to Walmart. I did my order a few days ago, and I noticed that there was $3 and change taken off the amount, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then today, when my order said I earned 50 cents, and then it said I had a balance of $3. So I reached out to King, and please let me know if I'm ever not allowed to use your name, because I promise I won't, and I'm asking permission. But I reached out to ask if the cash back expires. And then I went and researched on my own before he answered me back, and no, it doesn't expire. So my understanding now is I could possibly use that money to buy toilet paper. I could possibly use that money to buy dish detergent. So I don't know yet, but as I sit here, that's what I'm going to look into. But if that is what I'm assuming, that is not anything to me besides a blessing. Because there are times that people just can't afford toilet paper. And I'm not talking about the people that would choose to intentionally buy all their wants before they bought their needs. I'm not talking about those people because I'm not one of those people. So I don't know how it is to be that type of person. But I was here looking at that and I'm like, wait a minute, is that another blessing? Because I see it as a blessing because toilet paper is expensive. You know what I mean? Toilet paper is expensive. But I had a situation. I had my laundry, and my laundry was getting to be a little bit over the basket, and I'm not used to having laundry build up in my house like that. So this morning I went to the laundry across the hall at 7:13 this morning, and when I got in, there was a man in there. So, okay, he's a grinder like me, just getting it on. So when I went in, he had 5 machines going, and then he had a basket in front of each machine with clothes that he was going to get the next wash. So I said to myself, I hope the camera caught what he did, because I had to leave the machine with my laundry and go back home. So at that moment, I realized that it is imperative for me to get my washing machine, because if I had broken down, seeing that like I might have broken down in the past, so I ended up going back to the machine, a while later, and I ended up um, not being able to use the machine because it didn't take single dollar bills. Now, in my purse, I had an emergency $20 bill. Now, I get inside that car, you don't know what can happen to you. So I already feel a certain type of way, not wanting to get in the vehicle and then not get down the road. So then my emergency 20 was gone. But I reached out to a friend and I said, I don't need any help with any decisions. I'm just rambling. And I said, I went to use the laundry and it doesn't take single dollar bills. So I said, I only have my emergency 20. He texted back and said, stop being frugal. Use your money. So I went to the machine and I put the $20 in the machine and I washed my clothes. But I took my clothes out of the wash thing, and I left in my rags, my towels and things like that, and I put that in the machine. And I used the dryer for the first time in a number of years. But when my rags came out the dryer, I felt, I don't know. I still can't feel it how I felt, but I liked it, but I don't want my clothes in the dryer. I don't want my nightgowns and things like that in my panties and things in the dryer. I'm not. That's not going to happen. And then I was extremely happy to have my little hanging rack. So I took my hanging rack out the bathroom because my kitchen is massive, and I put it right on the side by the kitchen and hung my stuff up. And I'm just, walking around and I'm looking at my home and I'm looking up at the ceiling and I have my hand in the air and I'm just standing in gratitude. But when I woke up this morning, I didn't realize it was Mother's Day. I didn't realize it was Mother's Day, but I had a really nice Mother's Day. I relaxed. A friend of mine from my neighborhood came to my home today. But I'm going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you how I feel God worked for me this morning because I didn't know she arrived in town last night, and I didn't know that she had a sister in the neighborhood. None of that. So she rang me this morning to say that she was here, and I'm like, where? And she was like, and on top of that, they are up the block on this same road, but up the block. But I didn't feel too safe, So I said I could meet you at the Dollar Tree, but I wasn't going any further, and that was it. So I said I was waiting for my Walmart order. Yesterday's order was canceled, but today's order, it popped up. Someone took it and brought it. But when I was coming in my home, I remembered that I wanted some salad, but I also know I was working on a budget to make sure that I was able to eat for the entire month because there's times that you just run out of food. It's no given sometimes. And then I looked down when I started taking my stuff out and I saw some salad. And I'm like, I know I didn't order salad, even though I wanted some salad. So I'm looking, and then I'm not sure if she called me or I called her, but I said, I just need you to look at those bags and see that I haven't touched them. And she was looking. I said, okay, now let me take out my order. I said, because God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes you just don't see when something's happening. So I pulled out something. I said, I don't know what this is, but I didn't order this. So then I know it said something about some substitutions or what like that. So I don't really know how to look into all of that stuff, and I will. Don't worry, I will. I pulled out chicken breast. Now I don't really know how to cook chicken breast, so I have it in the refrigerator, and yes, I will be cooking it. But it was a lump of pork, like a whole big piece of pork. I don't know how to cook that. And I said, okay, if I throw it out the window, Coral can't catch it. So that's out of the question. So I said to her, I got this pork. And the first thing I did was ran back to the computer to make a message to see if the person, but then I went to ChatGPT and I said, how do you contact the driver? I said, don't bother because they're not coming back for the food. So I'm like, okay, so now this is a blessing. I ended up with orange juice, sugar free. Broke it open, drunk it right on down, boys and girls. I ended up with a nice big bottle of coffee creamer that was sugar free. I was like, I made me a cup of coffee, but right in my little coffee maker. So I had me some coffee. Then I have something called I ate it a long time ago. I don't know the taste of it now, but I was interested in trying it again. I'm not sure if it's called it's like a cold cut. It has this broad swatch name or something, but it's like little coins, but like bigger than a coin. It's four of them. I'm gonna get into that. I had some pork bacon, but I gave it to the lady. I gave her the hunk of pork. Um, three things of chopped meat. I gave her one, and a few other things. So I asked her, I said, "Would you like this?" And she said, "If you don't want it." So I said, "I'm not playing in the sandbox with you." I said, "I asked you if you want it. It's either yes or no." I said, "I'm not eating it." I said, "I can give it to one." She said, "Yes." I said, "Well, let me know you want it, then it's yours. That's it." So she ended with that, and then it was a coffee creamer mocha, I think it was, and I'm not into mocha, so I didn't know if she wanted it or not, but I threw it in her bag anyway. I said, if I get rid of it by passing it to her, if she doesn't want it, she know how I rock. You pass it to somebody else. So then she got something. I got butter, I got parsley and stuff like that. But she ended up calling me back, but I was in a mode of sleep, so I really did. She was like, "You gave me coffee, thank you, and sugar free, and thank you." And she has to go sugar free for her health, but I did not know that parsley was included until after I went to put away my shopping cart and I saw this little container and I saw the parsley on the floor and I picked it up and I said, "Oh, this is parsley." But the reason why I felt it was significant that I found the parsley is because there was a comment that was said to me um, when I was accused of being something that I'm clearly not aware of being, as far as myself, when the person said, uh, "Who the f eats eats parsley and oregano?" So I saw the parsley on the floor, and it was definitely a message to me. So I was like, I understand the assignment, but I understood the assignment way before the phone call even came. So when the phone call came, I was 110%. No. I'm not sure how it went, but however it was, when the burst of emotions exploded, I understood the assignment because I knew it was a test coming to me somewhere when I stepped foot in this apartment. I knew it. There was no way. It was just not gonna. So it happened, but I made it point blank, period, clear before the explosion came that there's a test when I got in here and I passed. I realized I passed the test today on Mother's Day. Amen. Yes, right. So there goes that. But I'm thankful for Walmart Plus. I'm thankful for Walmart. Now, I already said I have gotten a few blessings from my walk in this door, and I will be putting aside my little hair thing for my Walmart driver, and it will be in cash. I will no longer be leaving a tip on the site. If you can't take an order without a tip, then you're not my person, and that's it. That's it. I may have $5, I may have six, but my tip will be within my budget for the rest of the things like I do my rent and everything else. So there goes that, and I'm very happy. But I'm drinking some Minute Maid strawberry, some type of juice that is sugar free. I don't know if it tastes like poison because I just brushed my teeth, but it tastes like poison. mm, yeah, tastes like poison. I won't be finishing that. I won't be taking another sip for a while. It's tart. When I say tart, it's worse than lemonade, and I like lemonade, sugar-free lemonade, but that's like somebody threw a raw, like a lemon in my mouth, and I don't do lemon like that. So there goes that. But I have to go to the doctor tomorrow. I will be in my medical taxi at 10:15 a.m. and I'll be getting to my appointment. I don't know if anyone saw my leg, but let me do the kind thing first. Because I have nothing for sale, honey, on this channel. Absolutely not. But my leg is getting better. I don't know if you can see. Let me see. I don't know if you can see, but the bone that's sticking out is right there, and the circle. Well, it's getting a little better. So I'm gonna go tomorrow. Hopefully, the weather is nice to where I could put on like my pajama pants, so I could lift my pant leg up to show him my bone, because I thought it was the bone, but I believe it's like probably a really bad bruise, like that. So but my neighbor came in this evening after I was waiting for my friend to come in the back of the building. I saw so many balloons and flowers, and I'm like, what is today? But I had already had about 3 naps, and And I forgot it was Mother's Day, but I was so happy to see that they had really nice days. One lady was coming in. I didn't realize it was her until she spoke to me, and then I was stuck because I was nervous because I told my friend I really can't go outside there, but I ended up going out there, but then my phone didn't work. But I guess it was because I was in the garage at the entrance of the garage. But the good thing was she ended up meeting me there because I was on my way back up here, honey. And then somebody tapped the glass, and I said, "Oh," because I hadn't seen her in so long. But it was nice that she recognized who I was. But she was so happy to get that meat, and I do know how hard it is sometimes because there's times that she doesn't have meat either, food either, and she lives alone and she's dialysis and stuff like that. Not to be exposing her, but I did not say her name. And so I was so happy, and I said, "You see how this happened?" Because I don't even know if she knew I was putting that bacon in there, but I bought myself some turkey bacon, so I was like, I'm not gonna be greedy and hold all of that for myself. Now I'm not gonna lie, if my crock pot didn't look like it would cause a fire because of the way it's broke, I would have dropped that meat in that crock pot. I'm not gonna lie, honey. Yes, I would have, but I'm thinking that I wanna um try to cook the chicken breast, but my doctor told me not to eat chicken breast because it was so hard for me to digest, and I already have issues health wise when it comes to meat. But I'm gonna try. Think I'm not? I'm gonna try to cook that chicken breast. But I'm loving my new community. When the lady came in my apartment, I opened the door, and she came in and she said, "It looks so nice in here." And I was so happy because my friend was here a couple of days ago and she really likes the apartment, but I have I can't believe that I have so much white space. I just didn't want to cover up the walls. I just needed a couple of months with just some white space on the walls. But I realized this morning I don't actually want to move my computer into the other room. I don't want to get the other desk. I just don't want to. So I'm just gonna come in here little by little and tidy up and put up, and I will be crafting right here. My computer will be right here. I love all of the space I have in the middle of here. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to keep this chair and do away with this chair. But I have this very chair in my trunk, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that chair yet. But I'm really happy, really happy. But boys and girls, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes we have to learn to accept the fact that not everybody is going to be happy for us, and it is what it is. Um, a friend of mine, and I use that word loosely, asked me where I moved, and I told her to Connecticut, New York, and I did it for a reason, and I'm sure someone will understand what I did, and I'm asking in kindness not to comment. Just don't even comment. If you caught it, if it flew over your head, whatever it is, be mindful when you comment. But anyway, she saw someone and said, "Yeah, move to Connecticut," and then the person was like, "Really? Yeah, you didn't know?" And I am almost positive they didn't have, foul intentions, but there are times that you just have to be careful what you do and what you say. Even me, I will say something someone went through, but I'm sure you haven't heard me call someone's name. So for all you know, I could just be creating a story, and I have been accused a time or two of creating a story that I wasn't creating because sometimes it just sounds like it just wouldn't happen. But I'm meeting said person tomorrow, and I, she said, "How much is your taxi gonna cost you to come from there?" And I had to lie. I had to lie. And I felt a little bad having to lie, but sometimes I realize now that you have to lie because sometimes people don't realize, the small thing they can do to you, just not realizing what little information they may be willing to share. So, and I always tell people you have to be mindful calling someone's name. I don't know. Maybe it's me because I live in weird land and all that other stuff. But I don't know. Mm-mm. I'm waiting for this package to arrive. So hopefully it arrives because I just want to get this package. And I'm looking. I don't see. She hasn't said anything about shipping. It arrived back to her location and it broke, and then piece of it broke, and then she said, she didn't have enough postage. She said, I'm gonna go through it, take out what broke, and what's left, you could pay the shipping. I don't think so. Don't think so. But I really am thirsty. I am so freaking happy. I keep saying every day that I'm happy, but it is what it is. Let me see what time it is, boys and girls. I didn't even notice. Oh, it's 11:33. Mm. Oh my goodness. Oh, I tell you, when you can wake up and look in your sink and there's no dishes in there, I don't know if women that live alone and find so much joy living alone are actually losing out on a connection with another human being. But there's a price to pay when you give up peace, and that's what a lot of people don't realize because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what I would be willing to give up my peace for. I really don't. I don't know what's good out there. I don't know. Mm-mm. I don't know. Mm. It's okay to go on dates and have romantic night and dinner in, and but you don't necessarily have to commingle your home, your living space. It's so many people that don't even get a good night's sleep because the other person, snores. Or I was talking to someone recently and I said one of the reasons why I just won't share a bedroom with anyone is because people pass wind in the night. That's a natural part of life, but that doesn't mean I want to smell it. And he was laughing. He was like, some of the things you say. I said, yeah, some of the things I say, but just think about it. You go to bed every night alone. Just imagine somebody with IBS like me sleeping next to you in your house, and you live way down there. What would you do? Put me on the porch and tell me to wait and walk to the bus? Because you wouldn't want to wake up with this if I forgot to take some peppermint tea. But I don't know what I would trade, would be willing to trade for my peace. I don't know. I don't know. The scale, it doesn't even out for me. So I'm like, But I kid you not, I almost cried yesterday because um, I think Mary abandoned me. I don't know if she realizes it, but I think she abandoned me. And I felt a certain type of way. I said, but you know what? I can't feel that way. I can't feel that way. So I just stayed right here and I looked at Miranda. I said, I think your auntie abandoned me. But I said, maybe, maybe not. Hopefully she's well. And then she commented on Facebook. I said, oh, she's well. So we left it there. But I didn't reach out to Coral because I did say Happy Mother's Day to everybody on Facebook, and because I would never forget my blessings and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I think every day is Mother's Day. There are so many great mothers out there, but I think tough love is the best love to give someone. I really do. I really do. Oh, wow. I can't believe what I just saw. My phone, my Facebook just said someone's calling me. So this didn't show she was calling. This didn't show up, but it showed up on Facebook and said she's calling me. But it didn't pop up on 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 thing. April, those cute little things you sent me. I'm looking at them right now. Um, in 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 Facebook. But boys and girls, I I owed a firm a little over 2,500, and now I'm closer to 200, and I'm so proud because uh, there will be another level of progress in my life in the coming days. And when I say coming days, I mean this month. So I'm proud of myself because I believe I worked really hard to get where I am, and I don't know. Um, I really don't know what to say, but I am proud of myself because I sacrificed. I stayed intentional. I stayed focused. And even though it was hard for me, I realized that I have to take some rest. And I've been resting. I've literally been resting. I have been on Facebook, the phone, and my eyes are closing, and I'm like, and I just flip the light out and I lay down. It is what it is. So I have been honoring my body. I get up, any time of day or night. I run my bath. I get in my bath. I see a change in the level of care that I'm showing to myself. And I kid you not, sometimes you want to be cared for, but the care that you really need the most has to come from you. Has to come from you. And I don't have any regrets. Even to hear someone basically call me a sellout, I have no regrets. I have none because I think the magic, the magic is is the word no. That's it. If you don't learn the word no, you won't learn how easy it is to make yourself happy. I don't know. I'm so thankful. When I say I'm thankful, I really wish I could tell you how thankful I am. I am. Like my neighbor, when I asked her if she can come to my house, she looked at me and she said, "What do you need?" And I felt a certain type of way, and I think she could see that I was about to cry. And I had just finished crying because I went into the garbage and I tried to use the machine. I don't know how to use the machine. And I know they saw me on camera walk back to my apartment with the damn garbage. And I think it was like twice already I did it. And I just didn't know. I didn't want to, knock on someone's door and ask them. It is a tragedy when you feel like you can't ask for help. And I literally mentioned to, three people on the phone that I didn't know how to throw the garbage out. What do you mean? Just look at, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna play the sandbox. So I left it at that. But I told the lady I had to apologize first, and I had to tell her, I don't want to be embarrassed asking for help. But I just moved here and I don't want to become a problem. I said, but I know I'm on the camera, not knowing how to throw the garbage out. But she took me to the garbage and she showed me how to use the garbage. But my daughter called me this morning and I told her I needed help with the garbage, and then she started laughing. And when she started laughing, then she asked another question. And I said, "Oh no, I think I figured it out." I said, "But thank you anyway." And I needed that. I needed that. But I now know how to throw my garbage. I just have to remember one thing. After I push a certain button, I have to wave my hand over a certain light, and then it will open up the door. If I don't remember to push and wave my hand, the door will not open. So that's what I have to remember. And that's it because uh, I had a pack of chicken that was empty in the refrigerator. I have some bones in the freezer. I did everything not to produce any crawlers or anything, but you don't want to have bags and bags. She was like, kid, you can grab all the garbage. I said, no, I'll just take these two bags and I'll do this later. But I kid you not, I thought I lived far from the garbage. She lives even further from the garbage, and she had just thrown her garbage out when she had came here for me to ask her if she could throw my garbage out, if she could help me throw my garbage out. But I was so happy that someone, it's so nice. I saw like about five people that I didn't see in the building before, or because I was sitting in the lobby. But I'm going to tell you something else that happened to me, boys and girls. Now, I was sitting downstairs waiting for my food, and all of a sudden, the ceiling said boom, 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 boom. And it was like, um, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like this, and you know I'm on the camera. You know this sort of shock when I was, and it was like boom, 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 like from the whole. You would know exactly where the person was inside the unit. So I was like, oh, and at that moment, I was beyond grateful that no one is above me. So I said, oh my God. Then I said to myself, I'm thankful that I'm the type of tenant that I am because I legit be in here tiptoeing, and that's where some of the pain is coming from in my legs because I'm tiptoeing. But when I heard the boom, 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 and then a few minutes later, I heard the person coming down, and I will not go into anything about to describe the person, but I'm like, now they should have did a little better than that. uh, there should be a little bit more a discrepancy when it comes to putting people in certain units. But I was like, thank you, Jesus. I'm on the top floor, boys and girls. I would be on the streets if that person was above me. I would be in my car. I kid you not. I would not be able to sleep knowing that was above me. And I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with me making fun. It would be because of my fears, and that's it. That is it. Because God forbid if I was on my bed and the ceiling fell in and whatever fell on top of me, there's no way I would be able to roll over. There's no way. That's why I kid you not. I I kid you not. I had the sweetest man that really, really loved me. And the only reason I couldn't date him is because of his weight. I have a phobia against a certain weight above me because just saying you lose strength and energy and you just fall out. I don't have the physical capacity to roll you over. And I kid you not, the nicest way to ever say something is the truth, because there are certain things that are just dangerous. And if you can't move someone, if they collapse on you for any reason, a stroke, a heart attack, just being tired, and they're just on top of you getting that little goodie on, I don't want to play in the sandbox, boys. I don't care. You could be the sweetest in the world, honey. When you are of a certain stature, I'm not playing in the sandbox with you. That's all. We can sit across the room and eat a steak together. I'll even share my potato, but that's out it. Out it. And it's only because of a fear. That's it. That's it. But I'm having fun now, boys and girls. Y'all might notice that my voice is carrying, so I'm getting a little happy. But I miss y'all, by the way. I miss y'all. I really do. But I'm scared of a lot of things right now. Not because I choose to be, but because reality is what it is. It is what it is. So I don't know. But I'm thankful. I'm waiting for a package. My first little Christmas work that I'm working on, but I'm hoping to just stay in here and work on some little fun activities and stuff like that. I gave the lady a card that I was working on today, but this is the card I should have gave her. The one that said Happy Mother's Day. I think there's a purple, yeah, there's a purple bracelet in there. So that's why I said I don't want to do holidays like Mother's Day and Easter and that type of stuff. And a lot of people said they were going to be moving away from stuff like that. And I think I'm going to work on that too. But at this moment, I don't feel crafty, but someone else does. So I'm going to be sorting through some of my stuff and making a drop. to a friend, and in my old town. So that is nice. That's nice. And we're meeting at the same place because we have to take care of some stuff at that location. But I'm going to say goodbye to you all now because I've sure you noticed that my computer just flipped on when I shouldn't have flipped it on. But someone said she was going to call me back, and she will call me back because she know I'm up. But I have to knock out some things, especially if I feel like I need to eat. I don't know what I actually ate. I can't remember. I ordered some type of ice. No, it wasn't ice cream. They have some. Walmart has some type of ACI dessert with a little crunchy that you put on top. I think that's all I ate yesterday. I don't remember eating anything. And I wanted a sandwich, so I ordered my. Oh, let me show you my meat. Now, the reason why I think that bag already went out, but I ordered this little bit of lunch meat that I mentioned to you yesterday. Now, this right here, I now I'm not saying this is the most healthiest meat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I ordered it for 82 cents or 83 cents, but where I just moved from, these are $2. And when I showed a friend of mine, she said, "You got that for what?" And I told her. She said, "I love those." I said, "Yeah, but these are $2 across the street from where I just moved from, and where she lives, which is a little bit up, maybe a couple blocks, it's a little bit more than $2. So when I saw this for, I think 82, one of them was 82 cents and one of them was 83 cents. I said, I'm gonna get a few of those, but I wanted a freaking sandwich. And I didn't get my cheese because the order with the cheese was the one that was canceled. But I did order some bread and it was smushed up, but guess what? It's coming back to life. You can see where it's indented in here, but it's coming back to life. So I ended up getting this 12 grain seeded bread. I've never tried it before, but I did try two other seeded breads. So I'm gonna try this one, but I really don't want to eat the sandwich without cheese, although I really shouldn't be eating the cheese because I took away the cheese, I took away the bread, I took away from everything, and my body just started doing so much better. But there are times that you have to feed the craving. I'm not gonna just not treat myself somewhere some kind of way. So I'm gonna have this bread right here, and then maybe for 2 months I won't have any more bread. I will have cheese, and then maybe for like 2 months I won't have cheese. So I'm gonna remove it. But what I have been doing that my daughter brought me was this black whatever, I can't read the bottle backwards. Wormwood, black walnut wormwood. I ordered the gummies, so I will have this because she paid like $50 or 55 for this bottle. I did order the gummies for myself, so they will arrive in a few days, and I will have that. And I did forget. Let me tell you, I got a phone call about 2 days ago. She said, "Where do you get those pumpkin seeds?" So I am gonna have my 4 pumpkin seeds because I didn't have my pumpkin seeds this morning. So I am gonna take out my 4 little pumpkin seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So she got her pumpkin seeds, and I'm gonna put that there, and then okay, I have my mushroom gummy. I didn't have that today, so I will have my sandwich because I'm treating myself with love. Mm-mm, mm-mm. This, mm, liverwurst. So
I don't know. Oh, look at all that. That's a lot. I don't know if you make like a meal with this or not, but I remember many years ago I used to eat this, and then I got to a point where I don't know why, but it wasn't in my eyesight anymore. But I feel like something's in my foot, but I'm feeling a little unsteady, like I'm gonna pass out.